Sophia's finger hovers over the send button. The words glow cruel and final on her phone screen. Loser, I'm leaving you for a better man. Her heart pounds not from guilt, but from the intoxicating rush of finally taking control. The coffee shop buzzes around her, steam rising from untouched lattes. Conversations bleeding into white noise. She's been planning this moment for months. Every detail rehearsed, every outcome anticipated. Except his response. I know. 2 words, delivered in seconds, no punctuation, no emotion, just knowing. Her phone slips from trembling fingers, clattering onto the marble table. The couple at the next booth glances over, concern flickering across their faces. Sophia barely notices. Her world has tilted sideways. I know. How could he know? She'd been meticulous. Secret calls during lunch breaks, deleted messages, fake work trips that were really stolen. Weekends in David's arms. She'd covered every trace, hadn't she? The phone buzzes again. Another message from Marcus, her husband of 7 years. The man she married when she was young and foolish and believed love was enough. The man who never surprised her, never challenged her, never made her feel truly alive. Come home. We need to talk. Her breath catches. There's something different in his tone even through text. She can feel it. An authority she's never heard before. A confidence that makes her skin prickle with unexpected awareness. Sophia's hands shake as she gathers her purse. David will be expecting her in an hour. They'd planned to celebrate tonight her freedom, their future. She'd imagined Marcus broken, desperate, maybe even crying. She'd prepared herself for anger, for pleading, for the messy emotional scene that would justify everything she'd done. She hadn't prepared for this, for the way his calm certainty makes her feel suddenly, inexplicably small. The drive home feels endless. Every traffic light holds her captive, giving her mind time to spiral. What does he know? How long has he known? And why does the thought of facing him now make her pulse quicken in a way it hasn't in years? Her key turns in the familiar lock. The house smells the same vanilla candles and the faint trace of his cologne. But something's different. The air thrums with tension, with possibility. Marcus? Her voice comes out smaller than intended. In here, the living room, where they used to curl up together on Sunday mornings, where she'd fallen asleep against his shoulder watching movies she can't even remember now, where she'd slowly, quietly, fallen out of love with him, or so she thought. He's standing by the window, silhouetted against the golden afternoon light, tall, broad-shouldered, perfectly still. When he turns, his dark eyes meet hers with an intensity that steals her breath. Hello, Sophia. His voice is velvet over steel, ready to hear what I know. Marcus moves toward her with predatory grace, each step deliberate. Sophia's instinct screams at her to run, but she's frozen, caught between the man she thought she knew and the stranger wearing his face. 7 months, he says, voice low and hypnotic. David Chen, marketing director at Hartwell and Associates, divorced, lives in the penthouse on 5th Street. Each fact lands like a physical blow. Sophia's knees threaten to buckle. How Tuesday lunches at Romano's, weekend conferences in Chicago that were really trips to his cabin upstate. Marcus stops mere inches from her, close enough that she can smell his familiar scent, cedar, and something darker, more dangerous. Should I continue? Her mouth opens, closes, no words come. The real question, Sophia, is why I let it happen. His fingers brush her cheek, feather light but electric. She jerks away or tries to. Her body betrays her, leaning into his touch instead. You're lying. But even as she says it, she knows he isn't. The evidence is written in the amused curve of his lips, the way his thumb traces her jawline like he owns her. Am I? His other hand finds her waist, pulling her closer until she's pressed against the solid wall of his chest. Tell me, when you were with him, who did you think about? The lie dies on her tongue, because the terrible truth is that even in David's arms, even during their most passionate moments, her mind wandered. Back here, back to Marcus, to the way he used to look at her before life and routine dulled the edges of their marriage. That's what I thought. His laugh is dark velvet. You've been running from something, haven't you? Something that scared you. His hands frame her face now, forcing her to meet his gaze. The Marcus she married was safe, predictable, comfortable. This man is anything but. This man looks at her like he can see straight through to her soul and likes what he finds there. You want to know what I've been doing these past 7 months while you played house with David? His breath is warm against her ear, sending shivers down her spine. I've been watching, learning, becoming the man you actually need. Stop. But her hands are fisted in his shirt, holding him close instead of pushing him away. The boring husband act was killing us both, wasn't it? You needed someone who could match you, challenge you. His lips graze her earlobe. Someone who wouldn't just let you walk away. Sophia's world spins. The man she thought she'd outgrown, the marriage she thought was dead, it was all an illusion. A safe facade he'd been wearing while underneath was this. Fire and intensity and a control that makes her body respond in ways she'd forgotten were possible. You planned this, she whispers, but it doesn't sound like an accusation anymore. It sounds like wonder, every second of it. His hands slide down to her hips, pinning her against him, including the part where you come back to me, where you choose me, the real me. The grandfather clock in the hallway chimes 6. David will be wondering where she is soon. Her phone buzzes, probably him, asking if she's on her way to their celebration dinner. Marcus's eyes flick to her purse where the sound came from, then back to her face. Go ahead, he says quietly. Answer him. Tell him you won't be coming. Sophia's hands tremble as she retrieves her phone. David's name glows on the screen, along with a message that makes her chest tighten. Can't wait to start our new life together. I love you. She stares at the words that should fill her with joy, but all she feels is emptiness, a hollow ache where certainty used to live. He loves you, Marcus observes, reading over her shoulder. His voice carries no jealousy, only quiet confidence. But does he know you? Really know you? Sophia's throat constricts. David loves her laugh, her smile, the version of herself she presents to the world. But the darker parts, her need for challenge, for intensity, for someone who could handle all of her, those pieces she'd kept hidden. I should go. The words lack conviction even to her own ears. Should you? Marcus turns her to face him fully. Look at me, Sophia. Really look. She does, and her breath catches. Gone is the mild-mannered husband who used to ask about her day and accept her distant responses. In his place stands a man who radiates power, control, dangerous magnetism. His dark hair is perfectly styled, his jaw sharp with newfound confidence. But it's his eyes that undo her, burning with an intensity that sees straight through her carefully constructed walls. How did you change? His thumb traces her lower lip, making her gasp. I didn't change, love. I just stopped pretending to be less than I am. Stop making myself small so you'd feel safe. Her phone buzzes again. David, growing worried. The reasonable choice, the safe choice is in her hands. A man who adores her, who would never hurt her, who offers a predictable future filled with gentle affection. But Marcus offers fire. Choose, he says simply, stepping back just enough to give her space. The loss of his touch is immediate, devastating. But choose knowing this: I won't wait forever, and I won't compete for what's already mine. Already mine. The possessive certainty in his voice makes her knees weak. Sophia looks down at her phone, at David's messages, at the escape route she'd so carefully planned. Then she looks back at Marcus, her husband, her stranger, her undoing. Slowly, deliberately, she types, I'm sorry, David. I can't do this, it's over. She hits send before she can second-guess herself. Marcus's smile is triumphant, predatory. Good girl. The endearment, spoken in that new authoritative tone, sends heat spiraling through her belly. When did his approval start mattering so much? When did the thought of disappointing him become unbearable? Her phone clatters to the floor, forgotten. All that exists is Marcus moving toward her again, his eyes dark with promise. Now, he says, backing her against the wall with slow, measured steps. Let me show you what you've been missing. His hands plant on either side of her head, caging her in. She should feel trapped. Instead, she feels claimed, owned, exactly where she belongs. Marcus. His name falls from her lips like a prayer. That's it, he murmurs, leaning down until his forehead rests against hers. Say my name like that, like you mean it. When his lips brush hers soft, questioning, giving her one last chance to pull away, Sophia surrenders completely. Her arms wind around his neck, pulling him deeper into the kiss that tastes like coming home and running wild all at once. 7 years of marriage, and she's never been kissed like this. Like she's precious and powerful and absolutely essential. Like he'd rather stop breathing than stop tasting her. "I love you," she whispers against his mouth, meaning it in a way she's never meant it before. His answering smile is devastating. "I know." Marcus's kiss deepens, stealing what remains of Sophia's coherent thought. His hands tangle in her hair, tilting her head back to give him better access. She's drowning in sensation, the taste of him, the scent of his skin, the solid strength of his body pressed against hers. "Do you have any idea?" he murmurs against her throat. "How long I've wanted to do this, to see you come undone for me." His teeth graze her pulse point, making her gasp. Her fingers dig into his shoulders, anchoring herself to him as her world tilts and spins. "You've been holding back," she accuses breathlessly. "All these years. You've been waiting." His hands slide down her sides, mapping her curves with reverent possession. "Waiting for you to be ready for this version of me. Waiting for you to realize that safe isn't what you need." He's right, and the truth of it terrifies and thrills her in equal measure. David had been safe, predictable. This Marcus is dangerous in the most delicious way. "What if I can't handle it?" The vulnerability in her voice surprises them both. "What if I'm not strong enough for who you really are?" Marcus stills, pulling back to study her face. His expression softens without losing its edge. "Sophia, look at me." She does, and finds herself drowning in dark eyes that hold 7 years of love and infinite patience. "You think I became this man for someone else. This is who I've always been underneath. But I became this version of myself for you, only you." His thumb brushes away a tear she didn't realize had fallen. "You don't have to be strong enough. You just have to trust me." "I do." The words come without hesitation, surprising them both. "I trust you completely." Something shifts in his expression, triumph, relief, and something deeper. Something that looks like reverence. "Then let me take care of you," he whispers, lifting her easily into his arms. "Let me show you how good we can be together." The world blurs as he carries her upstairs to their bedroom, the room that had become just a place to sleep, to people sharing space, but not truly connecting. Now it feels alive with possibility. He sets her down gently beside the bed, his hands never leaving her. "Tell me what you want, Sophia. Tell me what you need." The question undoes her. When had anyone last asked what she needed? When had anyone looked at her like her answer was the most important thing in the world? "You," she whispers, the word barely audible. "Just you. All of you." His smile is tender and fierce. "You have me. You've always had me." When he kisses her again, it's with 7 years of suppressed passion, months of patient planning, and the absolute certainty of a man who knows he's finally home. Sophia melts into him, every pretense falling away. This is what she'd been running from, not boredom, but intensity. Not indifference, but the terrifying depth of connection they'd always been capable of. She'd been afraid of needing him this much, afraid of the vulnerability that came with complete surrender. "I'm sorry," she breathes against his lips. "I'm so sorry I ran. I'm sorry I hurt us both by SHH. His hands frame her face with infinite gentleness. "We're here now. That's all that matters." Outside, the sun sets in brilliant shades of orange and gold, painting their room in warm light. Sophia has never felt more beautiful, more desired, more completely and utterly claimed than she does in this moment, in his arms, finally home. Hours later, Sophia lies in the circle of Marcus's arms, her head on his chest, listening to the steady rhythm of his heartbeat. The world outside has gone quiet, leaving only them in their cocoon of whispered confessions and gentle touches. "I have a confession," Marcus says, his voice rumbling beneath her ear. She tilts her head up to look at him, noting the slight uncertainty that crosses his features. After everything they've shared tonight, what could possibly make him hesitate? "Tell me." "I was terrified." His hand strokes through her hair, a gesture so tender it makes her chest ache. "Every day you were with him. I was terrified I'd waited too long, that I'd lost you completely." Sophia pushes herself up on her elbow, studying his face in the golden lamplight. "But you seemed so calm, so in control, on the outside." His smile is rueful. Inside, I was dying. Do you know what it's like to watch the woman you love slip away and know it's your own fault for not fighting for her? The raw honesty in his voice breaks something open inside her chest. Marcus, I got comfortable, he continues, his thumb tracing patterns on her bare shoulder. I thought love was enough. I thought if I just loved you steadily, quietly, that would be sufficient. I didn't realize you needed more, that you deserved more. I needed you. She whispers, pressing a kiss to his collarbone. I always needed you. I got scared of how much. And now, Sophia considers the question seriously. The woman who woke up this morning was ready to abandon 7 years of marriage for the promise of something better. Now she can't imagine being anywhere but here with this man who knows her completely and loves her anyway. Now I know the difference between running toward something and running home. She shifts to straddle him, her hands braced on his chest. I know the difference between safe and right. His eyes darken as she settles against him. And what's right? Sophia, this. She leans down to kiss him, slow and deep and full of promise. You, us, the real us. When she pulls back, his expression is soft with wonder. I love you, he says simply, not the version of you that you show the world, not the perfect wife you thought you had to be. I love your restlessness, your need for intensity, your beautiful, complicated heart. Tears blur her vision. I love you too, the real you, this you. Her hands map the planes of his chest, memorizing every detail. I'm sorry it took me so long to see what was right in front of me. We both had to grow into this, he says gently, into who we needed to be for each other. Outside their window, the city sleeps, unaware that inside this house, a marriage has been reborn. Two people have found their way back to each other through honesty, through vulnerability, through the courage to be real. Sophia's phone buzzes on the nightstand, probably David. Confused and hurt by her abrupt departure from their plans, she doesn't even glance at it. That part of her life feels like a dream now, insubstantial compared to the solid reality of Marcus beneath her. No regrets, he asks, following her gaze. Only one, she says, settling back into his arms, that I wasted so much time running from. The best thing that ever happened to me. His arms tighten around her, possessive and protective and perfect. We have time now, all the time in the world. Sophia closes her eyes and lets herself sink into the promise of his words. Tomorrow will bring conversations, explanations, the work of rebuilding trust. But tonight, she's exactly where she belongs, in the arms of the man who let her go so she could choose to come back to him. I choose you, she whispers against his skin. I choose us, forever. His kiss in response tastes like coming home, like second chances, like the best kind of love, the kind that sees you completely and never lets you go. Forever, he agrees, and Sophia knows he means it. In the quiet darkness of their bedroom, surrounded by 7 years of history and infinite possibility, she finally understands what she's been searching for all along. Not escape, but the courage to stay and fight for something extraordinary. She's found it. She's found him. She's found home.